Now, we're going to talk about the builder, the RFTools builder, and how I'm going to use it to make a really cool base. Now, I know that this is pretty much where we ended last episode. A big gaping hole. Yes, we're going to solve that today. And we're going to build Zoof Labs from the ground up. Or crater, I guess. Whatever you want to call it. But I have this machine here. And it's not much of a machine. It's literally just a builder. This is just a filter. You don't have to worry too much about this. This is just to give it power so that we can watch it from afar. Or tell it to turn on. And I want flight, so environmental controller, just to be able to move around easily out here. And I did put a peaceful module in it. The peaceful module is not too bad to get. It's just iron golem. Does require a POG and 2 vault ingots, but I have it at a pretty decent size range. And the only reason for that is whenever we start building layers, I don't want a whole bunch of mobs spawning where we're going to be standing. And all that's happening here is these are set to pull only the first block that we want, which is this block. These are the blocks that we're using to build. The dank is just probably the easiest way to put a whole bunch of blocks in. I do have this boss crate, and in this boss crate, I have everything set up already. This is our ground floor. This is our ceiling. And then this is the walls. So what's going to happen is this is a one tall box. That means it's a plane. Another one tall box, another plane. This is a 11 tall box. I think I can probably get away with this being 10. Probably. Because I think I can actually get away with this being 10. We'll find out later. But what that's going to do is that's going to ignore the top row, ignore the bottom row, and then it's just going to fill in the sides of the box. That way our walls can be a different texture than our ceiling and our floor. And then we have our box that goes around the whole thing to just make it look a little tidier, so the inside is a different color and texture set than the outside. And these are for the top, because I have something special planned for the top that I think could look really neat. So let's go ahead and start off with our first one. And as you can see, I need to filter lab 17 in these pullers, so it only pulls lab 17 to this. It is already configured that way. So let's go ahead and put this in here, and let's watch it work. That's much faster than I could have done it manually, for sure. Okay, and now let's get to the next one. And this one needs to be filtered next. And we'll do that with these. And now we should see our ceiling. There's our ceiling being placed in. Oh, that's a really smooth material. Wow, that might be a little too smooth. And then I have all of the space to walk around. Like, this is a pretty tall room. I like it. Now, I was about to come in here and just go ahead and start putting this lab 13 in here when I noticed I have 1,912, but it says I need 8,780. So it looked like I severely miscalculated. Technically, if I bring this in here and I install it, I can do this preview and it does glitch. This one is not actually here. This is the preview we're looking at. If you notice, this is a box, but this whole top layer, it's accounting for in that number. And this whole bottom layer, it's also accounting for. So what I need to do, I need to take 8,780 minus whatever 3,136 is times 2. I'm just going to trust my younger self and just put it in anyways. So this is the old one. Let's go ahead and put this back here. We're just going to trust my math on this. And this is probably a mistake, but I already have it filtered. Oh, let's put that in 3. And I want to get rid of this template. This is a incorrect template, but it's a glitch. So it's actually a client-side glitch. If someone else comes through here, these blocks won't render for them and they can't touch them. So if they fell, they'd fall right through it, but I'd be floating here. It's very strange. So all I have to do is fly really far away and just come back. That should have been enough. Yep. You saw it kind of unrender for just a moment, but that was enough. I should be able to press this button and it should get built. I think that finished it. No, there is no way in just yet, but we'll have to do something about that eventually. So here's our next shape card. 9,560 seems like a lot, but the whole bottom row is actually going to be the same row as this one. So we're saving blocks there. But all the other ones are actually going to be used to cover what we have from the outside. So I'll go ahead and put it in, and the block we're using is this blue block here. All right, and here it goes. Looking very vibrant. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, so it is completely encased, it looks like. All right, now for the fun parts. Trying to make it look pretty cool is what I'm going for anyways. Because right now it's just a flat thing. We got to make it look like a lab, right? Like some tech, some industrial stuff goes on here. Because that is the plan after all. So I've got, which one is first? This one's going to be first. Go ahead and install this. And we do have to whitelist it for alabaster now, the white alabaster. This is definitely the kind of thing I don't want to have to be doing by hand. And that's a sphere or a cylinder. Spherical shapes, not my strong suit. And let's finish this up. Okay, I think it's over here. Yep. Yep, sure is. So now, we need a little roof on the top. Yeah, that's looking pretty lab-like. I mean, it's a pencil. It's just a pencil so far. All right, and we're going to go ahead and just do the rest of these just kind of fast. Wait. Oh, I ran out of alabaster. I should have known that I'd run out. Okay, yep. So I am going to have to get some more alabaster, light gray, before I do this. And there it is, our completed build. You may notice something. I did go ahead and I set up a billboard for Zoof Labs. So let's check this out. Oh, also, we got our first employee. This is Joe. Joe's the groundskeeper. So he just watches over the place while we're not here. So in here, you can see that there are some tall ceilings. I went ahead and separated it out, allowed it to be open and whatnot. I did come down here and I sort of set up the layout for what I want. Now, right down here, we actually have our main base. So we have an elevator that can help us get down. We have 4 quadrants. So you've got the red, purple, blue, and yellow. So that's going to help us kind of navigate and whatnot. Here we have a dank splitter slash emptier. So right now it's splitting, or it's emptying to 1 dank, and it's going to do full stacks at a time. Like, it goes very fast. But now it's going to go quite a bit slower, but it is going to go slower because it's splitting between 2 people, splitting between 3 people, and splitting between 4 people. Press the button again, it'll go back to 1 person. So you can pick how many people you want quite easily. And these are dimensional chests, of course. So these are going to split to people's bases, specifically to their bases. So all I would do is come in here, change the frequency to 1, because that's my base. And now everything that comes in here is going to go to my base. And whenever someone else comes in, like let's say Jay Hizzle, his base is on 2. Whoops. His base is on 2. And we can do just like that. So now all of those are going to go to Jay Hizzle. And so forth. Now, I want to show you this in a creative world really quick so that you can see kind of how I went about this. Both the splitting, being able to easily toggle or cycle between how many people can be split between, as well as like how it's handling pulling and whatnot. Now, I've got 3 danks right now, and all 3 of these danks have some items in them. Dirt, smooth stone, and cobblestone. Now, if I come over here to this Dank Unloader, well, first off, let me go ahead and change these channels so they're all on different channels. Now, I should be able to... What's going to happen is I'm going to deposit the danks by pressing this button. It's going to put them in this chest using this storage scanner. This dump module is assigned to this, just like that. And now, well, I should probably show this as well. I have them whitelisted, the danks that I need. Now it's going to send it to this chest because it's its only routable inventory. Now what's going to happen here is this item router, when it gets a pulse, it is going to crouch right click on this dock to empty any dank that's already there. And then it is going to pull from this chest. And it's going to pull a dank. After that, it will... Well, the way it's going to get the pulse is whenever there's something in this, so if I put this in here, then this inventory checker will see that 1 item is in this chest, at least an item. It'll then send a signal to this sequencer, which will turn it into a pulse because it's at once 1, a delay of 5, which means like a quarter second, and a sequence length of 4. And what that's going to do is it's going to make it into a pulse, send it into this transmitter, and then it's going to send that transmitter into this receiver on the same channel, and that's how it gets its pulse. After that, you have this item router. This item router is just always set to pull. It's going to pull, it's then going to check if there's an item in its inventory. If there is, it sends a redstone signal down. That's important for later. It's going to pull, then distribute, then pull, then distribute. And that's, you do this to make it maximum speed. It's pulling from the dock and it's distributing to all 4 of these. And all you do to make it distribute is you take it and you would crouch right click on each one of those chests. And if it doesn't see one of those chests, then it doesn't distribute to them. That's why we have extruder routers basically pulling the router back into their inventory and sending it back out whenever it gets another pulse. The way we maintain the how many are here is we have a button. This is actually wirelessly transmitting to this. And this is an industrial switch link receiver. We have 3 cog blocks, and these are just basically vertical redstone. That's all this is. Think of this as redstone dust. These are sequencers set up in step mode. Sequence length of 4. And so on the first tick, or on the first pulse it gets redstone, it'll be disabled. When it's disabled, this chest goes in. So we're on sequence 1 of all of these. Sequence 1 is off for all of them. Sequence 2, when I press this button, the first one is gonna send out because on sequence 2 it's on. But these two are still off on sequence 2. Sequence 3, this one's on, and this one's on sequence 4 as well. This one's on only sequence 4. And that's how you get this cycle between four different modes. I also have this, so while there's a chest here, this sensor is checking 5 blocks directly behind it if there's a dimensional chest. If there is a dimensional chest 5 blocks behind it, it sends a redstone signal to this router, which is set up to pull a full stack as fast as it can. It pulls a full stack from this dank to its inventory and then sends it to the bottom chest. And that's why it's a lot faster whenever it's not splitting, because it can actually go full stacks at a time. I'm going to go ahead and show you how fast it is with full stacks at a time. It's done. Like, it already completed all that. So it's quite fast. But as soon as you start to split, it has to pull one at a time. Okay, so this transmitter transmits to here to set this guy up, right? To tell him to remove the old dank, pull a dank to his inventory, and then activate another dank. The other way it can get a signal is if this stops receiving a signal. Right now, anytime it has an inventory or an item in its inventory, it will send a redstone signal down. This inverts the signal. Everything's set to on, except for the third one, because it's getting, when it gets redstone from the B side, which is directly up top. So when this has an item in its inventory, it sends a signal here. This inverts it, sends it into this transmitter. This transmitter, all it does is sends it right back up into the item router. So whenever this stops pulling items, it will stop sending a signal. That'll be inverted, and then it'll send a signal to here to pulse it, to then remove it by crouch right clicking, and then it'll fly into the air. This will vacuum it and then send the item, the dank, into this chest. And you can see that here. I know I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible because I've already made several Dank Unloader videos. This is just another way to do it. That's all there is to it. There's no right or wrong way. This is just a way I like to do it because I think it's clean. And of course, you can stack these more to the left, stack them more to the right. You don't have to have this here. This can be way over here. That's not a problem. And then you can put a row on top if you want. And then just invert all this stuff and put it all on top of the danks. That's exactly what I did over here. So if I come to the back, I can actually see that I've got all the same stuff. The bottom has that, and then the top, it's just flipped. You do have to do it a little differently here. And that's because whenever it sees that it has an inventory item, it needs to send a signal to all of these down here and these up here to remove their danks whenever it gets to signal here. That way it pulls. Now I know that I was all over the place in this video, and I apologize for that. If the dank explanation was not good enough, feel free to let me know down in the comments, and I may be able to make a video on how to do dank unloading, but just let me know down in the comments if you guys need that. But you can also try to check out my video on my other playlist about dank unloading. But of course, thanks for checking out the video. Good news, I have actually hit 100 subscribers. So that's pretty awesome. Thanks so much for everything, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.